Today is Friday, January the 19th, and let's talk about frustration, shall we? Man, I used to teach voice. My degree is in vocal performance, and of course a lot of people have problems with breathing. And when I would bring it to the attention of my student, like, try this breathing method, or pay attention to this, now that I made them aware of the correct way to do something, they will often get frustrated during a lesson because they're aware of this new way, but they're also dealing with the frustration of the bad habit. And so I wanted to talk about that frustration and what it means. It means that you are facing a new beginning, or you're facing being aware of a new possibility, or being aware of a truth, or aware of something that you want to do the right way, but your bad habits have to phase out at the same time. So frustration is old and new in the same place, and it's causing friction. And you want to get it right because you're aware of what's right. You're aware that this doesn't work anymore. You don't want it. You don't want to keep doing the wrong thing, but it's a habit, and you want to get it right so bad because now you're aware of the right thing to do, or the new way. And so I've been frustrated. I've really been frustrated. I'm frustrated now. I'm frustrated now doing this video, which is why I was like, maybe I should do the video right now when I'm in the purest state of this emotion, which is frustration. And I could almost cry. I know what it's like to want to immediately become what you see, or to immediately be able to live out what you finally figured out you want. But now you're experiencing the duality of moving forward and then the pull of the bad habits of the past. And I don't even know if I necessarily have an answer for that. Other than I just wanted to point out the great things about frustration. This video isn't necessarily about curing it or how to not be frustrated, because frustration is natural. It is friction, which is what you want. You get what I'm saying? Frustration is a sign of growth. It's a sign of awareness. Ooh, that's good. Frustration is a sign of awareness. And so frustration points out what you're still dealing with. You know, it's a constant reminder of what you need to work on. So say for instance, you say you want to stop cursing, and then you end up running into somebody who annoys you, and y'all get into it, and then you curse them out, and you like, fuck, dick, I said I was gonna start cursing. And you get so frustrated with yourself because the objective you set for yourself is different. It opposes the bad habit. You're going the opposite way than you want to go, and so that's why I said frustration is really awareness. Because if you're going a certain way and you don't know of another way, or you don't know of a better way, there's nothing to contradict what you're already doing. So there's no frustration. It's easy going. There's no resistance there. But the moment you're going away and then you realize you want to go another way, you realize you want to do something else, you realize you want to be something else, you realize you want to be more, you realize you're not being you at all. The frustration comes when you realize that. Now you have the revelation of that, like, hey, I want to be more. But then you start to see that you still doing these bad habits that will keep you in the place you say you don't want to be. The frustration is the fact that you've realized that you want a higher goal, a higher standard, a higher way of life, but you're still operating in a lower or negative way that will keep the old cycle going. And so I just want to say that thank God for frustration, first of all, because it's proof that we're aware. Frustration points out the fact that you thought or you think that this is going to be easier than it actually is going to be. And you're frustrated because you feel like you should be able to adapt just like that. You feel like you should be able to get it just like that. Like I said, when I'm teaching people new methods of breathing, people always say, you know, oh, you're supposed to breathe from the diaphragm. But when I tell them there's 4 places you should be breathing from at all times, they're like, what? Never heard that. And so once I show them that, then it's like, oh my God, they want to do it immediately. And so when they try to and they realize that they can't, they're frustrated. Like, oh, I'm trying to get this. Yeah, but just because you understand it intellectually does not mean it's really been introduced into your body yet. And so that's another thing frustration points out. The fact that you think this is easier than it actually is. And frustration shows you that it's not. And just because you know of a way, and just because you know better, does not mean you're going to immediately do better or even be able to. We are a sum total of our habits. And your habits have to change. And so the way to deal with frustration is to practice whatever it is. So if you say you want to live a certain way or live a certain lifestyle, but your finances look contrary to that, you need to keep practicing ways to make more money. You need to keep practicing ways to look at yourself in a different light. You need to keep practicing and practicing and practicing until you're closer to who you want to be and further away from what you were. You get what I'm saying? But the frustration really shows that you don't know what you're in for. That this intellectually seems easier than it actually is. And so frustration gives us an accurate gauge of what is required to change. Revelation is easy, right? Deciding you want to be someone else is easy, right? Deciding who you are, once you figure out what you want, once you figure out your purpose, that's easy in comparison to actually making your life line up to what you have decided. The revelation is translucent, but the hard work to actually become who you said, what you said, that is tangible, hard work, manifestation work. You get what I'm saying? And manifestation, it is easy in terms of the steps that it takes to manifest, but it is challenging, it's hard work, and it takes discipline, because all of you has to be lined up to manifest a thing. Your beliefs have to be lined up with your actions. You get what I'm saying? And your energy. So you have to be lined up, mind, body, and soul. You have to have synchronicity within your mind, body, and spirit to actually manifest what it is that you want. And that's another thing that frustration shows us. Just because you say a thing does not mean that it's going to be. Just because you say you want something, or you say this is who I'm going to be, that doesn't make your life change. Frustration shows you that there is still some inconsistencies. You may be saying it, but it's not in your actions. You may be saying it, you may understand it intellectually, but you don't believe it in your heart. And so with that understanding, I'm starting to see the gift of frustration. And that was something too that God revealed to me, that emotions always carry with the information. It's not just to have feelings, it's information. And so sometimes it's hard when you're in those emotions that can be very hype, like anger, like frustration, being irritated. Sometimes it's easier to tap out, to zone out, and not really get the information from it. But there's so much information from frustration. Frustration is saying, hey, you may still be on level 1 of what you decided. You're still at the speaking phase, or you recognize something that you want, but there are other things that are out of alignment. And you know they're out of alignment because when you try to go do this thing, you cannot fully manifest it. You cannot fully do it yet. So there are some other things that are not in full alignment with what you've decided intellectually. So I just wanted to share that. Delve into your frustration. If you're frustrated in any area, what is it trying to show you? You may have decided something on a certain level, but you may not have decided it on all 3 levels yet. Or you've decided it and now you're in rehab. You know, all habits have to go through rehab. All habits have to, because we're addicted to them. We're addicted to what we've found works for us, or what we've become comfortable with. And so if you have made the decision, mind, body, and soul, you will see results faster, but you're still going to experience frustration because it's not going to be as fast as you want it to be, right? We want stuff overnight. We think things are easier in our head than they really are in real life. So you could be going through the rehab of your bad habits, but pay no attention. If you've come to a resolve on who you want to be and what you want to do, allow yourself to go through the rehab. Allow the constant stumbling, but just keep going and just chalk it up to, this is just the bad habits phasing out. They're just phasing out. They're just phasing out. But if you find yourself not making any improvement and you just keep getting frustrated, it's because you said that this was who you want to be, but you're not interested in putting the work in. That's another thing that frustration points out. This sounds good to you. You know this is a good thing. You know that to want to be better would even better your life. You know that to have financial success will make a lot of things easier. But the truth of the matter is, you can still very much so not want to put in the work to get that result. And so that's when frustration shows up too, because you have opposing ideas. You have an idea but an opposing action. You have actions but opposing emotions toward. You get what I'm saying? Out of the alignment is off. Something's not synchronistic. And so when you look at it like that, and now that I'm looking at it, I can feel myself I'm still a little frustrated, but I can feel myself calming down and starting to, instead of being so irritated, I can see myself asking myself, okay, what's incongruent in me? What do I need to do to line up with what I said I wanted, or who I said I wanted to be? Why am I frustrated? Why am I doing one thing and saying another? What do I need to do to be on the same page as what I said? And then to do that, if it's truly what I want. But sometimes frustration shows us that we don't really want it. We want it because of the results. We want the results from it. We want the goodness that will come from. We want the fulfillment of what comes from a higher goal. But the truth of the matter is, you may not want to work or do the work to become that. And so you're frustrated because you think you can just say it and be it, and that's not true. Or you could even be frustrated because you think you could do the actions to get there, but where's your heart? Because if your heart's not in it, you're not going to keep the results. You can do the actions to get there, but what's going to keep you there? How are you going to maintain it? You get what I'm saying? So that's just something to think about. I don't have an answer for frustration. I don't think it's supposed to be answered, but it is an indicator, and within it there's so much information about why you're frustrated and what you need to do to be frustrated, to not be frustrated. What you need to do to have what it is that you say you want. Or maybe you need to let go of what you said you want because you don't really want it. You just want it because it sounds good. So that's all I've got for you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, I would love to tell you to subscribe, but this is kind of like we're dating. You know what I'm saying? We're dating. So I don't want to go on a first date and be like, okay, subscribe, we go together. Like, no, that's not fair. Like, we just met. So if this is your first time coming to my channel, you don't have to subscribe right away. By all means, if you want to, please do. But if you want to check out more of my videos, see if you like me, date me a little bit, see if you want me to be a part of your notifications, that's totally fine. I hope we work out. I hope we're meant to be. I hope we're soulmates. And if we are, whenever we are, don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Thanks, guys.